Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. In this video tutorial, I will explain how to create a simple login system in a Django applications, creating a new registration form, login form and logout functionality. Now let's check the final output. Click registration. We'll add our new registration details. The first one is devi@gmail.com and the password is 123. Her age is 25. She is female and is unmarried. Now before registration, this Devi record, let's check in our database. Right now in our database contains 3 records. Let's browse the table again. See, we got 3 records in our table. Let's register the Devi details. See here, we got a message. The new user Devi is saved successfully. Let's browse the table again. Browse. So we got the Devi details. Now let's log in. The username and password. Let's log in with the Devi only. Here the login username is the email ID I have given. Devi@gmail.com and the password is 123 and the password is 123. Click login. See here, Devi@gmail.com logout. When I click logout, it's switching back to the index page. Click login. Again, I want to log in with the Devi details, but this time I am entering the password is something random. When I click login, see here we got the message username and password is invalid. Now let's log in with the Charan details. Charan and the password is 1234. 1234. Click login. See here, it's showing the username, the email ID and the logout link. Click logout. If you are a first time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates. Before creating a new Django web application, first we'll create a new database in phpMyAdmin database, which is nothing but a MySQL server. Let's log into my database root MySQL code. After I log into my database, let's create a new database. Databases. The database name is empdb. Create. And here the database has been created successfully. Right now this database contains no tables. See, no tables found in this database. empdb database. Now let's create a new Django web application. After that we'll migrate that table in this database. I'm using Visual Studio Code to create a Django web application. Go to File, open folder. The folder, let's create a new folder here, new folder. The folder name is a login system. And I'm adding this folder, login system, in this E drive, select folder. And here the folder is added successfully to our Visual Studio. At the right side, we got the welcome page. Let's close this welcome page. Right now, this folder contains empty. Now, let's create a new Django web application in this folder. For that, go to View and Terminal. And here we got the terminal option, which is nothing but a PowerShell or command prompt. And also notice the path is the E drive login system. This folder I have created in this E drive. So to create the Django application, django-admin start project, and the project name is a login sys. And here the login sys application has been created successfully. Let me expand this application. See, when I expand this application, there is one subfolder called login sys with the same application name and one manage.py page. Let me expand this subfolder also. See, when I expand this subfolder, there is some default Python files has been created automatically, like settings.py, URLs, etc. Now after that, before adding the functionality, the models, views and the database connection string, first let's check this application is working or not. cd first we need to add the application name to the path. After that, to run the application, python manage.py run server. So after run the server, we don't have any issues. Below is our web server link. Control plus mouse click to browse the application. And here we got the default output of our application, which contains a Django page. So our application is working successfully. Come to the coding part. First what we will do is we'll add one models folder to our subfolder of our application. Select the subfolder, right click the mouse, new file. The file name is the models.py, and here we got our models page, and this page contains a simple class with some properties. It's a simple Poco class. So first, before that, let's import the namespace from django.db import models. Then let's define a class call. Here the class name I'm adding new user and models.model. After that we'll add some column names, emp name. Let's add the username. The username is equals to models.char field varchar 150, not so, it's max length, sorry for that. Max length is equals to 150. Email is equals to same data type. I'm adding password is equals to same data type. Age is equals to models dot integer field, and next one is the gender. Gender is equals to models dot char field, max length is equals to 1. The gender I'm using the radio buttons, so male and female, male for M and female for F, which contains only one character. Then marital status is equals to models.char field, max length is equals to 150. That's it. Just for the demo purpose, I'm adding only few columns in this class new user, which is nothing but our table name also, which we have created, might get the database. After that, next open settings.py. In the settings.py, first let's install our application name. Our application name is login sys. Copy this one and paste here. So here the login sys is our application name. Then we need to add the directories os.path.join base directory. I'm joining the base directory, comma, it's a templates, which is our folder name, and this folder contains all our the HTML pages, which are nothing but a templates. In this application, the templates we are using, one is the index.html, the registration page, and one login page, which will add in a few moments after we adding the connection string. Notice in the databases section, the default database is the SQLite 3, but our database is MySQL, and the name is the database name. The database name is, if you check in our database, the database name is empdb. Let's copy that one and paste here. The database name is, username we have to add, which is nothing but a root, and the password. Here the password I'm leaving blank because I don't have any password to log into my PHP MyAdmin database. Then we require the host also. Host is nothing but a local host, and the port number of our database To find out the port number of MySQL, then switch over to the database. This is a port number 3308 for PHP MyAdmin database, MySQL 3308. Then the last one is the options colon between curly brackets init underscore command colon between double quotes. Let's set the SQL mode. The SQL mode I'm adding between single quotes and strict underscore trans underscore tables. That's it. And let's save this file. Save out. So after save the file, notice we don't have any issues in our application. We have configured the database connection string, we have configured the templates, and we have installed our application name also. Now it's time to migrate the data table, Control C, Python manage.py, which contains a migrate. So after that, before that, let's check in our database. Right now this database contains empty database. Let's refresh the database. See, here we got the tables are migrated, but our table is new user. So for that, migrate double hyphen run hyphen syncdb, enter. See here, the creating tables logins is new user has been created in our database. Let's check that one. I'm reloading the browser. See here, the logins is underscore new user. Let's browse this table. See, in this table contains the ID is the auto generated column. It's been created, and this column has been created automatically, which is a primary key and auto increment column. The column names, notice the username, email, password, age, gender, and matter status, which are nothing but the property names. Now let's implement the login system. First, we'll insert new user details in this table. Then switch over to the coding part. Now let's create a new folder called templates. Select the root folder of our application, right click the mouse, new folder. The folder name is the templates. Now in this templates folder contains all my the HTML pages, the templates which contains the index.html, registration.html, and login page. I click the mouse, new file. First one I'm adding index.html. And here we got our index.html, h1, this is index page. And one more thing, in this tutorial I am not concentrating on the designing part, just on the coding part I am only concentrating how to register the new user details, the login functionality, and logout functionality. So after adding the index.html, let's save this file, save all. The next template is the registration.html, h1, this is registration page. Let's add new user registration form, new user registration form, horizontal line. Let's save this file, save. Again, right click the mouse, templates, new file. The file name is a login.html, h1 login page, horizontal line. Now in the registration page, we'll add one table, and this table contains a border. Is one. Let's add the columns tr, td. First one is the username, username, td. The text box is input type is equals to text. Let's add the placeholder, enter username, then let's copy this one, paste here. This one is the email, the type I'm adding email, enter email. I'm adding one more property for these elements which is a required, so it's a simple validation HTML file required. Next one is a password. The type of the element is a password, and the placeholder is enter password required. And this one, what is the next model name is the age, so age, enter age, and copy this one. The next one is a gender. The gender type is a radio. As I told, the gender is a male and female. You don't require the placeholder for this type, but it contains a value is a m, and here I'm adding male, colon. Let's copy this one and paste here. This one is the f, female, the r, td, marital status, td. For the marital status, I'm adding a simple select option element which is nothing but a drop down list which contains the married, unmarried and divorced. Select, and the select elements I'm adding the option element. This option contains a value is a married. I want to save this value, and this is the label for this option. Copy this one, paste here, and this one is unmarried, married, unmarried, and divorced. After that, I'm adding one more tr tag which contains two tds. The first td is empty and the second td contains a button, and this button type is submit, and the value is a registration of the button. The button name is registration. That's it. It's a simple designing part. Let's check the output. First, let's save this file, save all. Next, we require the views page here. Select the subfolder, right click the mouse, new file. The file name is views.py. From django.shortcuts import render. The views page, it renders our tablets, so I'm using render. The first, I'm assigning one function called def show index page. Index page is a function name which contains a request colon. This function return want to render. This render method takes two parameters. One is a request, comma, and the second one is the template name. The template name is a index.html. index.html, we have to put between single quotes the template name. That's it. Let's save this file. Save. Then we need to configure the urls.py. Import views. After importing the views, now in the URL patterns path between single quotes, I'm not adding anything between the single quotes. Now this path will become the default page of our application. Views.index page, which is nothing but our index.html page, is our default page of our application. Come on. Let's save this application. Save all. Run the server. After I run the server, we don't have any issues. See, no issues, zero silencer. Now, right now the default application page is a Django application. Now when I reload this application, see, we got new page. This is the index page, which is nothing but our index page. Now this is our default home page of our application. Now in this index page contains two href links, one for the registration and the second one for the login page. So let's add the href links. Switch to the index.html, horizontal line, and here I'm adding one href which is the registration, and href login. Let's put this in a bold tag. Copy this one and paste here. Let's do some gap here, NBSP, NBSP. Copy this one and paste here. Save this file. Now let's reload the browser. Let's check that href links is added or not. So here the registration and login. Now when a user click this registration, I want to open this registration form. So in the URLs, let's set the path registration views dot let's import the namespace path from login sys dot modals. Import from the modals page. I want to importing this new user, this views page new user. Now let's define a new function called user reg. User reg is a method name colon. This function takes the parameter request here, and request. Make sure check the indent of these pages, otherwise you'll get an error. If request.method double equals to post colon, I'm posting the values. First one is in the models, see username, copy that one, is equals to request dot post. I'm posting the value from this HTML element which contains a username. Here we need to add the property called name, emp name. Copy this one and paste here. The next one is the email, copy that one, paste here, request.post email. here we need to add name is equals to email. Make sure add what the value we have given in this name property, that must be in this post method. The next one, the password is equals to request dot post pwd, and in the registration name is equals to pwd, and the age name is equals to age. Copy this one, age equals dot post age, and the next property is the gender. In the gender I'm adding here the name is equals to gender, name is equals to gender, and add this gender here, request dot post gender. And the last one is the marital status. The marital status, the name here I am adding. Notice here the name here in this select element I am adding, not in the options. Marital status request dot post then once we add these values, I want to save in the database. So new user, which is our model class name, new user, username is equals to username, comma, the email is equals to email, password is equals to password, age is equals to age, and gender is equals to gender, and the last one is the marital status is equals to marital status. Dot, I'm saving these values with the save method. Once the record is saved, I want to display the message, the record, the new user is inserted successfully. See here the EMP name, instead of EMP name, let's add the username. This one is a username. Let's check in the models, contains username. Okay, now it's perfect. To display the message from login django.contrib, from this contrib class I'm importing the messages class, and I'm calling that messages class in this success method. This success method takes two parameters. The first one is a request, comma, and the second one is a message, which is a string. The new user plus this user name I want to display here is saved successfully. After that, this function return render request, comma, registration .html, else the else also the same. If you are not posting the data, still I want to display this page registration.html. That's it. now go to switch over to the registration.html. In Django applications, when we are posting the data, we need to put this content in the form tab. Form method is equals to post. We are posting the data, and I'm closing this form tag after the table, and here I'm adding one important step between curly brackets percentage CSRF underscore token. This token, it protects our data from the hackers when we are posting the data between the server and the client. So make sure when you are posting the data, add this line, otherwise you'll get an error. Next, once the record is saved, I want to display the message percentage if messages. The message we are getting from the messages class. Here we have added, see the messages class we have added here, messages and percentage and if, and for loop for MSG is a variable in messages, and for, to close the for loop, and for double quotes MSG. This is the message I want to display, is in the H3 tag. I want to display in the H3. Let's put this in a bold tag. Or we can use strong also. And below that, I'm adding one horizontal line. After the horizontal line, let's add this horizontal line here. Strong italic EM if you already remember registered fine. Let's check the output. Save the file. Oops, here registration at views. We need to set the URL. We forgot that one. Views dot. The function name is user reg. Comma name is equals to between double quotes. I'm adding the reg, and this reg I'm adding here in the index percentage URL between single quotes reg. Save this file. The else part, the views page in the else part. Oops, here we forgot to add colon. Sorry for that. Let's save this file, save all. So now we don't have any issues after saving this application. What's wrong in this URL? Save this file. And let's check the output. I'm reloading the browser, and here we got a new output. The registration is active now. Notice when I mouse over, at the bottom it's showing the URL. So when a user clicks this registration link, we got the new user registration details form page. Let's enter the first username charan@gmail.com, and the password is 1234, and the age is 32. The gender is male, and the marital status is married. Now before insert this new registration form, the Charan details, let's check in our database, browse. Right now this table contains 0 rows. Let's insert the record registration. See here we got a message, the new user Charan is saved successfully. Let's browse the table. See here we got something went wrong here. We fix that one. The registration. Name, username, views. See here the username is a username. This value we have to add here. Username. Sorry for that. Control C in the terminal. Let's run the server again. After we run the server, we don't have any issues. Let's go back. I'm reloading the browser. Click registration. This time I'm adding the j@gmail.com and the password is 123. Age is 28. His male is unmarried. Registration. See here the new user Jack is saved successfully. We'll check that records. Let's browse the table. Again we got the same. What's wrong? We have not saved this file. Sorry for that. First let's save this file. Control C. Let's check. Control plus mouse click. Registration. Let's add a new user Peter pet@gmail.com. Password is 1234. Age is 28. Is male. And this guy is unmarried. Registration. The Peter details is inserted successfully. Let's check. See here the Peter. Let's change this username to Charan, and this one is Jack. That's it. First step, they have created the new user details. Now go to index page. Now the login form. When a user clicks the login page, I want to open a login form page. When a user login successfully, I want to redirect to this index page. But in this index page, notice right now it's showing the registration and login links. Instead of displaying these two links, I want to display the logout link and a username. If the user is successfully logged in, I want to display the logout link and the username in this index page. So let's add that functionality. Switch over to the coding part. Go to login.html. Here in the login.html, again I'm adding one more table with a border 1 for the login form page. td is the username, and the next td contains the input type is equals to text. Let's close this td here. td placeholder, enter username required. And second one is a password. The type of this element is the password, and enter password. and here the properties I'm adding name is equals to, I'm adding the name here is the email. Email, the username is the email and the password is, if you want you can add the username also, but here I'm using email. And for the password, this is the password. Then we are TD. The next TD is the button control button. The type of the button is submit, and this one is the login. And here, as I told, when we are posting data, the form method is equals to post, closes form tag after the button control, and here we require the CSRF token, CSRF underscore token. Let's save this file, save all. Now switch to views. We'll write the coding part here. The function views def login page request colon if request.method double equals to post colon, I'm adding the try blocks here, try. Now in the try block, user details, I'm getting the user details from my class, from my table name. My table name is a new user.objects.get method. In this get method, see here, it contains all the column names. Email is equals to request.post between single quotes I'm adding email, comma, and the next one is a password. Password is equals to request.post and posting the password pwd. Then I want to print username is equals to comma user details. Now request dot session email is equals to user details dot email. Then this function return render requesting. This function returns if the username and password is valid. I want to redirect to the requesting the index.html. Try. Add the exception. My table name is new user dot does not exist. If the username and password is not exist, as is a variable, I want to display the messages dot. So same message I want to display the success method takes two parameters. One is a request username, password invalid. If the username and password is not valid, I want to display this message. Then this function return, and the if condition return render copy this one. Instead of index, I want to display the login page, login.html. That's it. Let's save this file, save all. Now open login page, copy this one. Let's set the URLs and path, single quotes, login, comma, views dot. I'm adding that function name is equals to login page. Let's copy this login page and we'll add here between curly brackets percentage URL between single quotes. I'm pasting the name. Let's save this file, save all, and switch over to the login.html page. Oops, here we got another invalid syntax. Need to add comma here. Save this file, save. Go to login.html, and here the message after the table. So instead of writing the same code, let's copy this one. Copy this one, paste here. That's it. Index.html, views, URLs, login.html. That's it. Let's save this file, save. Now after that, open index.html. Here I'm adding the if condition. If the username and password is valid, I want to hide this registration and login href links, and I want to display the email ID, which is our username, and the logout link. And so here if request dot session, let's add this one, request dot session, copy this one and paste here, request dot session dot email. Let's close this if condition with an if. I want to display the email, which is a username. Copy this one and paste here, and NBSP column and NBSP. Let's add the logout link here. Logout. In the else part, percentage else. I want to display this part. That's it. Let's check the output. Save the file, save all. Switch over to the, let's run the server again. Python manage.py run server, enter. So after run the server, we don't have any issues. Control plus mouse click, run the server. And here we got a new output, registration and login. If we go to registration, it's a registration page, login. Here we got the login page. Let's log in with the Charan details. Charan email ID is our username. Username is Charan at gmail.com, and the password is 1234. First I am entering the wrong password, some random password I am entering, which is a wrong password. If I click login, see here we got a message, username and password is invalid. Let's enter the correct username and password. The username, the email ID is charan@gmail.com and the password is 1234. Click login. See here, the username is charan@gmail.com and the logout. Now when a user click the logout page, I want to redirect to the index page and display the registration and sign up links. So for that we require one more view called for logout, the function name logout request. To log out is very simple. We have to kill the session. To delete the session, try delete request.session. In the session I'm adding email exception. Here exception return render request in single quotes index.html, and the same thing if the user is not logged in, I want to switch over to the index.html. That's it. Let's save this file, save all, and let's configure the URL also, comma, copy this one, paste here. This one is logout instead of login page. Let's add our views, def name, function name is logout, and this one is a logout. Add this logout here. Here in the index.html, instead of login page, I'm adding logout, because when a user clicks the logout, I want to render this function, this logout function. Save this file, save all. And here also login button. And the registration, the sign up button is copy this one, the registration, login. That's it. We have done the complete coding part. Let's check the output. Control C. Let's run the server again. After I run the server, we don't have any issues. Control plus mouse click to run the browser. Here we are already logged in with the Charan details. Let's log out. See here, once I log out, it's redirecting to the index page. So when I click login, it's a login details. I click registration, it's a registration. Now let's check the final output. Click registration. We'll add our new registration details. The first one is baby@gmail.com and the password is 123. Her age is 25. She is female and is unmarried. Now before registration, this Devi record, let's check in our database. Right now in our database contains 3 records. Let's browse the table again. See, we got 3 records in our table. Let's register the Devi details. See here, we got a message. The new user Devi is saved successfully. Let's browse the table again. Browse. So we got the Devi details. Now let's log in. The username and password, let's log in with the Devi only. Here the login username is the email ID I have given. in devi@gmail.com, and the password is 123, and the password is 123. Click login. See here, devi@gmail.com, logout. When I click logout, it's switching back to the index page. Click login. Again, I want to log in with the Devi details, but this time I am entering the password is something random. And I click login. See here, we got the message username and password is invalid. Now let's log in with the Charan details. Charan, and the password is 1234. 1234. Click login. See here, showing the username, the email ID, and the logout link. Click logout. That's it. In this video tutorial, I have explained how to create a simple login system in Django application. To creating a new user details, login system, and login form, and the logout functionality. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe my channel and share this video.